The Garden Report is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Hey, Boy Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report, MSG edition. Josue Pavon standing by for opening night. A win for the Celtics, 108-104. Headlined by Kristaps Porzingis. Tatum had a big game, Josue. Sure. 34, big rebounding night, big passing night, too. I think he deserves a lot of credit.
I was telling you, Bobby, going into it, I was like, if Porzingis didn't get hot the way he did, or if it was, like, minimal compared to, his other players, I was seeing Tatum go for 40, honestly. But Porzingis went off the way he did, and Tatum said, do your thing, man.
Yeah, so the Celtics go ahead 30-18 early. The defense, a big story tonight, I thought.
Yeah, sure.
This is a game, when you consider losing the fourth quarter, playing pretty poorly in the second, and up and down throughout the third. You probably would have lost this game last year. Outshot from three, out-rebounded pretty badly, 17-7 on the glass. Celtics committed more turnovers than the Knicks, but fourth quarter stretch where you're getting stops and you're finding Porzingis on offense.
Yeah.
All the difference in this one, he scored the final 9 points for the Celtics before a couple Pritchard free throws sealed this one on his way to 30.
And he made it look easy. I mean, that three-point shot goes a long way for this offense when you consider when you got guys like Jalen and Tatum constantly a threat for the New York Knicks. But you saw what he did on the defensive end. I mean, 4 blocks, just constantly clogging up the lane. I thought he did a really good job of just trying to give the Knicks just something that, I mean, the way he defended the paint and the way they got back in transition, I thought that was the big difference in terms of making that adjustment. You know, the Knicks did a really good job of not only converting second chance opportunities and getting those opportunities off of offensive rebounds, but they were also playing well in transition. Now, capitalizing on the Celtics' turnovers, I thought it was a big reason why they got out to that lead. And obviously those, what was it, 4 or 5 three-pointers that all came in and throughout that run that ultimately led to them grabbing their first lead of the night.
Yeah, not the best night offensively, but you see how simplified it is when they're looking for the 7-3 guy and letting him do his thing. A couple good looks from him in the corner against Hartenstein, who he killed in this game, frankly.
Yeah.
So that made all the difference for them. And then defensively, he's just by the rim. That's what he said. Here's Porzingis talking about his role defensively on this team.
I'm just honestly being put in the right situation. You know, I'm close to the rim. I'm trying to help my teammates as much as I can. Obviously, it's going to depend on the matchups and things like that. But I feel like the way coaching staff are using me on defense is paying off, and I'm able to be as effective as possible. And tonight, try to be active and try to be active on the glass, knowing that Robinson, Hartenstein, those guys can really rebound the ball. So just try to do that part also to the best of my ability.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
It's simple. I think the game's a lot more simple for this team on both ends.
For sure.
They're able to dig themselves out of some of their worst stretches of play a little bit easier than a year ago.
I mean, I'm not quite sure they win this game a year ago. That's a good point, Bobby. I mean, having someone like that makes a humongous difference, but it also just changes the dynamic of your team. We knew that just from watching this team throughout the preseason, but to see it on this stage at this level, and especially for someone like Porzingis, this is a very special night to do this here in New York. Madison Square Garden, the team that drafted him when he was, 19 years old. He talked about that, a couple of weeks ago, saying how he's just not that kid. He was arrogant. He's a completely different guy now, and he showed that in a big way on the floor, and he got the appropriate reaction from this crowd with the FUs and the booing. He loves that stuff.
It was a weird game. You had a couple flopping calls. There was a sequence where they got 2 free throws down 2, along with a technical on Porzingis, and they missed the technical. Brunson did. That ended up being a big play in this game. But the Celtics just reorganized well, bounced back well in this game. Overall, there's a ton to improve on, and we'll see, in our next video where they need to mix up some lineups here and rotations, because those, of course, weren't sharp. But do you come out of this game feeling more optimistic or pessimistic that it wasn't as good as expected?
Honestly, I'm a little more optimistic. I just think it's gonna take some time. Obviously, as Joe Mazzulla said, you also have to remember the fact that this Knicks team has seen the Celtics 3 times now in the last 3 weeks or so. I mean, You got to credit Thibodeau for what he did, his
They're
game
a tough
plan.
team.
They're a tough team, and Thibodeau really tried to get these guys to attack, and they did that a lot in the first quarter, right? Attack the rim, go to their bigs. I thought him trying to get Randall and some of his bigs going. Randall had a tough time, shooting the ball, but he was trying to find other ways to really exploit the Celtics' defense. And even though guys did get into foul trouble, they were able to bounce back in the second half.
And Drew Holiday on Randall, what a job, the 1 for 10 start, switching on him constantly.
Right.
I love this defense tonight. I can't say that enough. Porzingis means the world to them on that end. Holiday did his thing with 3 blocks himself. 11 for the Celtics in this game. Reminiscent of 2022 is what I said on post game. This is the kind of game that they were able to win that year, even when their offense wasn't at its best. They'll have a chance to do that against another gritty defensive team that makes it tough for you on Friday against the Heat, home opener. We'll talk lineups next. Is it going to be a different lineup like Joe Mazzulla has hinted at it being every night, or did they find their starting 5 with what they went with tonight? We'll talk about that in our next video. Of course, check out the post-game show. Check out our write-ups on CLNSmedia.com from opening night here, our Man on the Street segment, which was very exciting.
Yeah, that's fun.
And all the interviews from tonight, CLNS Media, Celtics All Access YouTube channels, Josue Pavon, Bobby Manning. Celtics beat the Knicks 108-104 here on opening night, move to 1-0. We'll talk to you in our next video.
Ever wish you could navigate the betting field with the confidence of a pro? Enter Odds Are. They're not a sports book, but they're the sports betting advisor you always needed. It's like having a playbook for smarter bets right in your pocket. I've been absolutely loving the experience, and I think you will too, especially since Celtics All Access listeners get a 30-day free trial. Elevate your game day and join the smart betting revolution. Go get it at oddsr.com/Celtics. That's oddsr.com/Celtics.